Okay, it's getting dark on me, but I'm going to show you how to use this stove real quick if you got one in the mail. So it's an alcohol stove, and inside of it store tea light. So you can shake it, get that tea light out of it. And here's your alcohol stove. And then you'll get this right here, which is a piece of wire, and it is flat, but it's going to be your pot stand. You're going to take it from this, and you're going to start bending it very carefully into a circular type shape. Then you're going to take a pair of needle nose pliers, and you need to be really careful. Put it over the top like that, and then this first tab, you don't want it any higher up here. You want everything to be level, so you're going to go underneath the first wire. Then you don't want these wires shifting, so you're going to take the next and go over the top of the next one. And then this middle one, doesn't matter where you put it over or under, but then same thing for the bottom one. You want it to be level, so you're going to take this wire, bend it over the top, and then this one under. That way it'll be locked permanently, won't go anywhere. Just be real careful bending them so that you don't break them off. If you happen to, you can always take another link out of it. There should be plenty to go around your stove, but I like it wider so that it fits my pot and makes everything more stable. So when you get finished, you'll have one that looks like this. There's your stove, there's your pot stand. Pot stand will go, your pot will go right on top. Now, something that you get from your pantry, get you some aluminum foil. I like to take about a foot square of it, and then I'm going to fold it, doing this really quick, guys, in half, then in half again. Then what I like to do is take and fold these sides toward the center. Hopefully you can see this. Next one I do toward the center. Next one I do toward the center. Next one I do toward the center. Then what I usually do is take and fold each of the sides again. This. Hopefully you can see some of this. There. There. So you can see all these corners and sides that I folded in. Then flatten it out. And that gives you a nice stable and non-flammable surface for your alcohol stove. Use the heavy duty foil. I also take a good sheet of it, about the size of your pot. I can do it real quick as well. That ought to be plenty. And now I'm going to fold it into thirds. If you have the really big aluminum foil, you can do it in fourths, and it'll just make it that much stronger. Then, so it doesn't come apart, I'll fold the end that has the part that was kind of free. I'll fold all the ends again, or the sides, one side and the end. Fold it just like that. Then this one, sorry, this video might be bad because it's dark. This camera's not going to focus well, period. But anyway, what I've just made is a windscreen, so it's not very tall. It's taller than my stove, a little bit taller than the pot stand. Like that, sorry. Do your base, that, your pot stand. Then you're going to put that there. And then you have your windscreen. You can go just around it like that. You can wrap it around. You can see how it clears the handle nicely. So, Also, it folds up. You can fold it up any which way. And I'm going to show you how everything stores really nicely. This pot that I have here, if you can see it, is just a really cheap one. I have a Snow Peak 900, I believe. And this is just like a cheap one I got from Walmart. It said grease pot on it. It had a little strainer and everything in it. And it's got more room than the Snow Peak. And I actually like it pretty well to store everything. So if you don't have a bag, I have just like a handkerchief. I'll take the handkerchief, put it right over the top. Take this full, put it down there, pot stand. Everything goes right down inside of it. Just like that. Then, take my windscreen. I forgot, put your tea light inside the stove. And then I like to store my fuel, which is the next topic. I have it in a water bottle and it's dyed green. You don't want anybody drinking this stuff. But I use heat in the yellow bottle. Only use the yellow bottle. I use heat, denatured alcohol, you can get from the paint section. Heat you can get from the automotive section. It's gas line, antifreeze, and water remover. It comes in a red bottle as well, but only use the yellow bottle. So heat, denatured alcohol, or pure grain alcohol like Everclear, something like that. Use those three fuel sources. Don't use anything else. Other alcohols will burn, but these will not put a lot of soot on your pot. You can see I've got just, you can't see there, you can see I've got just a little bit on my pot, but not much soot at all. You don't want all those all the soot on your pots and stuff. So then to measure, I usually put depending on the weather conditions, like if it's a hot summer day, I'll use about 1 ounce of fuel. And then if it's maybe winter time, I want to use a little bit more, so I'll use 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of fuel if I'm trying to get my water boiling. And that's usually for 2 cups. It'll boil. These little stoves will boil probably 3 to 4 cups pretty easily. So it's mainly a 1-person, 2-person stove max. And this little thing is from a medicine which you put medicine in. Anyway, it's got the markings on it, and 30 milliliters is about 1 ounce of fuel there. So that's kind of how I measure. This little miniature water bottle holds 8 ounces. Again, I've got some dye in there so that no one thinks this is water and drinks it. Put it right down inside there. Put that on top or down in it. You can put you a spoon or something and then fold it all up. Then when you're hiking, it's not going to be rattling around. So everything's in the container. You're not going to hear it when you're hiking. Alright, that's that video. Now I'm going to show you how to use it. If your tea light is in it, take your tea light out of it. The reason I've included this tea light in it is so that if you want to simmer something, instead of putting the alcohol on the bottom of your stove, put it in the tea light. Just like that. And this will give you a little bit better simmer option, because these stoves don't have very good control of the heat. You know, it's wide open or it's burning out. That's really all there is to these little alcohol stoves. They're mainly for just boiling water, 1 or 2 people. So here's how we use it. Non-flammable surface, clear anything away that might catch on fire. Take this little stove pad or stand that we made, put it on the ground. That's going to help keep your risk of a fire down. Take your stove. Again, make sure the tea light is not in it. Take your stove. Then what I'm going to do is take some alcohol here. And it's cold out tonight, so I'm going to put, there's 30 milliliters, and then I'm going to put an extra 15 in it. So that's basically 1.5 ounces there. Try not to spill any around, because you'll set stuff on fire if you aren't careful. Then take your pot stand, put it right there. Get your alcohol, close it up, get everything out of the way. So it's set up and it's ready to go. Now what you want to do, and what I like to do, is go on and have your pot and stuff ready, because you're trying to, more than likely, you're trying to conserve fuel. You don't want to burn up too much. So I don't know if you can see this, but I've got 2 cups of water. The reason I'm using 2 cups of water is it seems like everybody that tests stoves out uses 2 cups of water. Also, a lot of your camping meals, dehydrated meals, come in pouches that take 2 cups of water. I personally boil a little bit more because I like to have coffee when I'm on the trail. Now, whatever you do, light your stove with a match. Don't use a striker. You risk knocking it over. If you knock this thing over, you're going to set everything on fire. That's why I said do it outside, non-flammable surface. So, your match. We're good to go. So it's lit up right now. And I'll show you the weather real quick. I don't know if you can see, 39 degrees local weather. And the clock, I'm going to go on and put my pot with the water right on it and start the timer. So, started the timer here. Put a lid on. Then you can take your windscreen and put it around it. And I'm going to give you a different view here and show you something. Sorry, I'm shaking around a lot. Right now the stove is what you call, I mean, it's just burning right now. Usually around a minute, depending on the weather conditions, it does what I call blooming. And by blooming, the alcohol starts to boil inside of it. There's a dual, like a inner chamber inside of the stove, and the pressure that builds up and the fumes that start boiling out are going to start coming out of these little jets, and it'll light up just like your gas stove in your house. And it's obviously going to take a little bit longer because it's so cold tonight. That's the only thing about these alcohol stoves. They're kind of finicky in really cold weather. So you can see it start to bloom. There you go, it's blooming. And it's working full force right now. And really a better way to time the boiling water would probably be after it bloomed. But again, if you're going to use the fuel, you might as well put your stove, go on and put your pot of water right on top of it. Not waste any of the fuel that you're burning. So I'm just letting the timer run. It's 2 minutes right now. We're at the 6-minute mark, and I'm hearing some noise, and you can see some steam probably coming out of the pot. Let's take a look. This is where having a cloth, there we go, roll and boil. 6 minutes, 39-degree weather. You can see down in there. There we go. You can see that's rolling. Alright, starting to die out. You can see the flames just went out where it was bloomed. Now it's going to a center flame and it's out. And we are at 9 minutes and about 22 seconds is when it went out. There's the water. Alright, well that's the stove. And remember, be safe. Use only heat denatured alcohol or a pure grain alcohol. And